Hello and welcome back to your English classes. Hope your exams went on well. I'm 101% sure they have, and best of luck for the results. Before I begin today's lecture, a big thank you to all of you for conducting the program. Never in my life I had expected that there would be a virtual Teachers' Day celebration, but you guys made it possible. So thanks a lot for it. God bless you in a very special way. Though we definitely missed you all, the excitement, the decorations, the bunking of the periods, and such a lot was there behind it. But nonetheless, whatever you did, and the songs, the poems, the videos, whatever you did was quite appreciating, and God bless you again for the gesture that you have shown for us. Coming back to the next lesson, today I'll be teaching you the chapter The Homecoming. It is written by Rabindranath Tagore, and as you all know, Rabindranath Tagore was born in 1861, and he is the one who has written Gitanjali and our national anthem also. And he was the one who got the Nobel Prize in the year 1913. So lots have been written and said about him, and all we can say is he was one of the most learned, educated man of the times when British ruled the country. Now coming back to the story, The Homecoming is a story about a boy called Pathik, and the story deals with the relationship of Pathik with his mother and the experiences that he shares with her and without her. He is a child and not very old, young boy who doesn't have a father. He has a brother and his mother. He thinks that his mother does not love him, and therefore he tries to show her her feelings also. He tries to show her that he also doesn't care about her. But the real fact is that both of them love each other a lot, and they cannot do without each other. It's a sad story, but we have to read it, and so I'll begin it. Pathik Chakravarti was a ringleader among the boys of the village. A new mischief got into his head. There was a heavy log lying on the mud flat of the river, waiting to be shaped into a mast for a boat. He decided that they should all work together to shift a log by main force from its place and roll it away. The owner of the log would be angry and surprised, and they would all enjoy the fun. Everyone seconded the proposal, and it was carried unanimously. But just as the fun was about to begin, Makhan, Pathik's younger brother, sauntered up and sat down on the log in front of them, all without a word. The boys were puzzled for a moment. He was pushed rather timidly by one of the boys and told to get up, but he remained quiet, unconcerned. He appeared like a young philosopher meditating on the futility of games. Pathik was furious. "Makhan," he cried, "if you don't get down in this minute, I'll thrash you." Makhan only moved to a more comfortable position. Right? Now, Pathik Chakravarti is a naughty boy, and he is the ringleader of the gang of boys in the village. तो जो वो कहता है बाकी सब लड़के उसको फॉलो करते हैं. और एक दिन उनके दिमाग में एक ख्याल आता है कि थोड़ी दूर पे जहाँ रिवर होता है वहाँ पे एक लॉग पड़ा था। लॉग मतलब कि लकड़ी का बड़ा सा मतलब पेड़ का बड़ा सा टुकड़ा, जो जब काट देते हैं पेड़ को तो उसका एक बड़ा सा पीस वहाँ पे पड़ा था। तो पथिक को तो हमेशा खुराफाती आइडियाज़ आते थे। सो ही थॉट कि इफ़ ही शिफ्ट्स दैट and they will have fun, all the boys together, they will lift it or they will roll it, कोई धक्का मारेगा कोई उठाएगा, and they will enjoy the game. But the game is spoiled by Pathik's younger brother. His name is मक्खन। और मक्खन जो है वो हमेशा वही चीज़ करता था जो पथिक को पसंद नहीं आती थी। So he sauntered up, sauntered मतलब टहलते हुए आता है और ही सिट्स ऑन द लॉग। वो भी बिल्कुल ऐसे पोजीशन में जैसे कोई महाराज आके अपने सिंहासन पे बैठ गए हैं, एंड ही डिडंट वांट टू बी मूव्ड एंड ऑल द बॉयज ट्राइड टू मूव हिम, समबडी रिक्वेस्टेड and he was not moving. So Pathik got angry and he shouted at him and said ki if you don't move then I will beat you, I will thrash you. But it did not make any difference to Makhan, because Makhan was sitting in a way very nicely as if he was sitting on the throne. Now if Pathik was to give his real dignity before the public, it was clear he ought to carry out his threat. But his courage failed him at the crisis. His fertile brain, however, rapidly seized upon a new maneuver which would discomfort his brother and afford his followers an added amusement. He gave the word of command to roll the log and Makhan over together. Makhan heard the order and made it a point of honor to stick on it. But he overlooked the fact, like those who attempt earthly fame in other matters, and there was peril in it. Now, अब पथिक क्योंकि वो रिंग लीडर था तो उसको अब उसके लिए प्रेस्टीज इशू हो गया। सो इफ़ ही वुड नॉट फुलफिल, वो मतलब कि अपनी जो उसने धमकी दी थी, अगर वो थ्रेट दिया था, अगर वो उसको पूरा नहीं करेगा तो उसकी बेइज्जती हो जाएगी। एंड एट द बैक ऑफ द माइंड ही न्यू दैट इफ ही causes any harm to his brother, that will be another problem. So he orders his friends to push the log and Makhan together. जब लॉग पे वो बैठा है उसको रोल करेंगे तो मक्खन गिर जाएगा। अब मक्खन जब ये ऑर्डर सुनता है तो ही होल्ड्स ऑन टू द लॉग। ही ऑल्सो नोज, बट ही इन हिज ही इज ट्राइंग टू शो ऑफ दैट तुम लोग सब मानते हो गए पथिक की बात, बट आई डोंट केयर अबाउट हिम। बट इन दिस ही फॉरगॉट दैट though he was trying to outdo his brother, but he knew somewhere at the back of his mind that he is entering into a territory which can be dangerous for him, because he knew कि पथिक doesn't mess around with his words. जो वो बोलता है वो करता ही है। तो अचानक से जो अब बोल तो दिया दोनों भाइयों ने, वो वहाँ से हटना नहीं चाहता, और जो इसने बोल दिए धमकी दे दी है वो अपने वर्ड से ही ऑल्सो डजंट वांट टू गो बैक। सो नाउ इट्स अ क्लैश ऑफ ईगोज। लेट्स सी हु विन्स इट। द बॉयज began to heave at the log with all their might, calling out 1, 2, 3 go. At the word go, the log went, and with it went Makhan's philosophy, glory, and all. All the other boys shouted, themselves hoarse with delight, but Pathik was a little frightened. He knew what was coming, and sure enough, Makhan rose from Mother Earth, blind as fate and screaming like the Furies. He rushed at Pathik and scratched his face and beat him and kicked him and then went crying home. The first act of drama was over. So, ऑर्डर मिल गया, सबने लॉग को ताकत लगाई 1 2 3 और वो लॉग घूमने लगा. जब लॉग घूमने लगा उसके साथ मक्खन भी रोल होने लगा. Obviously he will get hurt, and as he got hurt, the boys started laughing and enjoying because that was fun for them. But Pathik knew कि अब क्या होने वाला है, because वो कुछ नई बात नहीं थी. It was an everyday story that Makhan would start the fight and then he would pretend that it was Pathik's mistake, and the weakness of Pathik was that he was not able to control his anger. So Pathik more or less knew what was going to happen next. So Makhan rose from the ground where he had fallen और भाग कर आके उसने Pathik का मुंह नोच लिया. And then he went crying home. So Pathik, the writer says, the first act of the drama was over because now the drama begins. जो मक्खन घर पे जाके करेगा, right? So, and I already told you just now that always was the story which went on for years. So Pathik knew what is going to happen. Pathik wiped his face and sat down on the edge of a sunken barge on the river bank and began to chew a piece of grass. A boat came up to the landing and a middle-aged man with grey hair and dark moustache stopped on shore. He saw the boy sitting there doing nothing and asked him where the Chakravartis lived. Pathik went on chewing the grass and said, "Over there." But it was quite impossible to tell where he pointed. The stranger asked him again. He swung his legs to and fro, side on the barge, and said, "Go and find out," and continued to chew the grass as before. But now a servant came down from the house and told Pathik his mother wanted him. Pathik refused to move, but the servant was the master of the occasion. He took Pathik up roughly and carried him, kicking and struggling in impotent rage. When Pathik came home into the house, his mother saw him. She called out angrily, "So, you have been hitting Makhan again?" Pathik answered indignantly, "No, I haven't. Who told you that?" His mother shouted, "Don't tell lies, you have." Pathik said suddenly, "I tell you I haven't. You ask Makhan." But Makhan thought it best to stick to his previous statement. He said, "Yes, mother, Pathik did hit me." Pathik's patience was already exhausted. He could not hear injustice. He rushed at Makhan and hammered with his blows. "Take that," he cried, and that for telling lies." So now that's what Pathik knew is going to happen when he reaches home. That is why he did not follow Makhan while Makhan went on running home. उसको पता था क्या होने वाला है, इसलिए उसके पीछे पीछे नहीं गया. And he was sitting there trying to chew on a piece of grass. घास खाते खाते बैठा हुआ था क्योंकि उसको पता था कि अब क्या होने वाला है. So while he was chewing on the grass, a man comes in. एक बोट आती है, उसमें से लोग उतरते हैं और एक आदमी आके उससे पूछता है, "Where do the Chakravartis live?" So he's asking him about his own house. Or because he's not in the mood, he just says कि they live there. ऐसे करके हाथ कर दिया, वहीं रहते हैं. और वहाँ से उसका where he pointed was not very clear. So he asked again कि कहाँ रहते हैं, can you just tell me? तो बोलता है कि please find out on your own, because he was not in a mood to tell him or give him the answer properly. But before he could do anything else, a servant comes और उसको ज़बरदस्ती उठा के ले जाता है, कहता है कि तुम्हारी मम्मी बुला रही है। वो बोलता है मुझे नहीं घर जाना है, क्योंकि उसको पता था घर जाके क्या होगा, और फिर भी वो ज़बरदस्ती उसको उठा के ले जाता है। And the mother, when he reaches home, the mother starts scolding him. तुमने मक्खन को क्यों मारा? तब मैंने नहीं मारा। तो कहती झूठ मत बोलो, तुम ही ने मारा है। तब मैं झूठ नहीं बोलता हूँ, मैंने उसको नहीं मारा है, तो मुझसे पूछ लो। मक्खन was very smart enough and he decided not to speak the truth and he said नहीं मम्मी, इसी ने मुझको मारा है। And on hearing this, that how could he lie so badly, he was furious और फिर जाके उसको दो चार कस कस के मारता है, कहता है अब मैंने मारा है, अब बताओ क्या कर सकते हो, right? So he's a child, a young child, a teenager child who's like it's a everyday story in your houses also. जब भाई बहन में लड़ाई हो जाती है, झूठ बोलते हैं, पिटवाना चाहते हैं या डांट पिटवाना चाहते हैं, and your younger siblings don't listen to you and they lie कि हाँ इसी ने किया था, ये किया था, वो किया था. But in this case, it's the mother is always siding the younger one. So he is very angry. Inside his heart, he feels very lonely. He feels that the mother is always siding the younger brother. She's never siding me. So in his heart, वो सोचने लगा है कि मेरी माँ मुझको प्यार नहीं करती है. And that's a very sad thought to live with. क्योंकि ऐसा नहीं होता है. But because she's a single mother, because he's young and she's always listening complaints about Pathik, that is the reason maybe she's reacting like that. But that's the story. So we'll stop over here and we'll continue in the next class. I hope that when you finish seeing this video, you will pick up the book and read the story also. Okay? Till then, take care. Bye.